Morning in a spacious modern house. Sunlight floods the living room with tall windows, designer furniture, and minimalist details. In the kitchen, Anna is making coffee, her golden robe flowing behind her as she approaches the coffee machine. She pauses for a moment and looks at Max, who is sprawled out on the sofa in the living room. His face is relaxed, and his lips are curved in a slight smile. "As always," she says quietly to herself, smiling. In a dream, he is happier than in life. She puts her cup down on the table when she hears the sound of the phone vibrating next to Max. At first, she doesn't pay attention, but her gaze falls on the screen, where a message appears. "Dasha, you promised to come today. Don't forget that we agreed, Dad." Her smile disappears. Anna freezes. Her heart begins to beat wildly. She looks at Max, who is peacefully sleeping, unsuspecting. "Daddy?" she whispers to herself. "Who is this Dasha?" She sits down on a chair and looks at the phone for a long time. Thoughts swarm in her head. Maybe it's some kind of misunderstanding, or no, it's just not possible. But her anxiety does not give rest. Later that day, Max is going to go out. He is dressed in a smart jacket and a neat shirt, which he wears when he goes to business meetings. He stands in the hall, tying shoelaces. "You're early today," Anna says as she walks in on him. Her voice sounds relaxed, but suspicion is visible in her eyes. "Do you have a business meeting?" "Yes," Max replies, smiling. "Orders for socks are growing. You can't let customers down." Anna nods, but continues to look at him. Her heart trembles with doubt. "Besides clients, are there any important meetings I should know about?" Max walks up to her, puts his hands on her shoulders, and smiles gently. "Anna," he says softly, "meetings are for business only. And everything important to the heart is here, with you." He kisses her gently on the forehead and walks out the door. Anna stands still, looking after him. Her hands are shaking slightly. "And if this is not the whole truth," she whispers to herself. She decisively picks up the phone and writes down the address she found on his notepad. Her suspicions are too strong to simply ignore. She gets into the car and follows Max. A few minutes later, she sees him enter a small house in a quiet neighborhood. Through the window, she sees Max hugging a little girl. They both laugh, and he adjusts the ribbon in her hair. Tears begin to fill her eyes. "He has a baby," she tells herself, catching her breath. "And he never told me about it." Anna does not know what to do. Her heart is torn by pain and questions. She decides to wait for his return, but already knows. Today's conversation will change everything. Evening in a big house. Anna is sitting in the kitchen, holding a cup of tea to her chest. Her thoughts are torn between anger, pain, and the desire to understand the truth. The clock shows almost 10 in the evening when the living room door opens. Max walks in, taking off his jacket. His smile fades as soon as he sees the strained look on Anna's face. "Did something happen?" he asks, placing his briefcase on the chair. Anna puts the cup on the table, gets up and comes closer. Her voice is calm, but her eyes burn with anger. "Max, who is Dasha?" He freezes as if caught at the scene of a crime. His face changes. He tries to remain calm. "What do you mean?" he says, trying to avoid her gaze. "I know everything," she interrupts, her voice growing louder. "I saw you today. I saw you hugging a little girl and fixing her hair. She calls you Daddy. You've been lying to me all this time." "Anna, wait, it's not what you think," Max says, raising his hands in a protective gesture. "Not what I think?" She laughs bitterly. "You have a child, and you hid it from me. How could you?" Max sighs heavily and sits down on the couch. He runs his hands over his face as if trying to gather his thoughts. "Her name is Dasha," he begins slowly. "But she is not my daughter." Anna looks at him in disbelief, arms crossed. "Perfectly. Now explain why she calls you Dad." "She's my old friend's daughter," Max says, looking her straight in the eyes. "Her father died 2 years ago, and I promised that I would help her. She had to be left without anyone, Anna." His voice sounds sincere, but Anna still can't hide her doubts. "And you couldn't tell me about it?" she asks. "I am your wife, Max. Why did you keep it a secret?" "I didn't want to bother you," he replies. "I thought you wouldn't understand." "It is difficult." She is silent for a few seconds, looking into his face. "Max, it's not about Dasha," she finally says. "The fact is that you did not trust me." He comes closer and takes her hands. "You're right," he admits. "I was wrong. I should have told you. But Anna, I really love you, and Dasha is not a secret. She's just a kid I'm helping." Anna feels her anger begin to subside, but the pain still remains inside. "You can help her, Max," she says quietly. "But don't deceive me anymore. I need to know what's going on in your life." "I promise," he says, looking her straight in the eyes. She pulls back a little, hugging him gently. Her heart still aches, but she decides to give him a chance. There is silence in the room. Only the warm light of the lamp illuminates their figures. "Now tell me about this sock business of yours," she says, trying to smile. Max laughs. They embrace, and the shadow of doubt gradually fades away, leaving them alone with the new truth. A week has passed since Max and Anna got along. Their relationship was restored, but Anna still had a small sediment. It was hard for her to forget the moment when she thought Max was hiding something more serious. However, she decided to give him a chance to prove his sincerity. One morning, when Max went to his office to do business, Anna decided to find out more about his business. She had heard that he sold designer socks before, but had never been interested in the details. It was hard for her to imagine that such a small thing could be a serious matter. Sitting at the computer in their spacious office, she opened his company's website. Her surprise was boundless. On the main page, there were dozens of photos of stylish socks, bright with unusual patterns, exclusive designs. They all looked so unique that she got curious. Customer reviews on the site were enthusiastic. "These are not just socks, they are a work of art. My children are delighted with the new collection. Max is a genius." Anna sat with her mouth open. How could she underestimate her husband's case? Max came home a little earlier than usual. Seeing Anna at the computer, he smiled. "Something interesting?" he asked, sitting down next to him. Anna turned the screen to him. "You're a genius, Max. Why have you never told me how successful your business is?" He scratched the back of his head and smiled sheepishly. "I thought you weren't interested," he admitted. "You always liked art and books more, but socks. Well, they seem frivolous." "Not serious? Max, you create masterpieces," she said enthusiastically, "and people appreciate it." Max was relieved. He was afraid that she would consider his business something trivial, but her support changed everything. "I'd like to help you if you let me," said Anna. "You can make this brand even bigger. I can help with marketing. We can create new collections together." Max was impressed by her enthusiasm. They discussed new ideas, laughed, dreamed. It was as if their relationship had received a new impetus. Meanwhile, Dasha also became a part of their lives. Max began to take her to their house more often, and Anna was surprised to find how much she liked this little girl. She was smart, funny, and loved to draw. Anna helped her with her lessons, and Max always found time to work with Dasha on new sock designs. One evening, when they were all sitting together at the table, Anna thought, "Perhaps I have underestimated Max all my life. He is not only the man I love, but also a person who can inspire and change the lives of others." This evening was the beginning of a new stage in their lives, a stage in which there was room for love, trust, family, and working together on dreams. The months passed quickly. Max's business developed rapidly. Together with Anna, they created a new collection of socks called Family Stories. Each couple had a unique design inspired by moments in their lives, travels, funny incidents, even petty arguments. The collection became a hit, and now Max was invited to interviews and performances. Everything looked perfect, but Anna felt that something was still bothering her. She saw how Max often became thoughtful, silent, and tense when he talked about Dasha. Although they became close to the girl, Anna understood that there was another secret in this story. One day, she decided to have a frank talk with Max. In their bedroom, overlooking the night city, she sat next to him on the bed. "Max," she began softly, "we've been through a lot, and now we're closer than ever. But I see that you are still hiding something. Does this apply to Dasha?" He looked down, sighing heavily. "Anna, I didn't want you to worry. But yes, there is something I haven't told you yet," he said quietly. Anna held her breath, waiting for what he would say next. "Dasha, she's really not my daughter, but I feel it's my responsibility to take care of her. Her father was my best friend. We started this business together. The socks were his idea, and I helped realize it. When he died in an accident, I promised that I would do everything to give Dasha a stable life." "That's noble, Max," Anna said, but her voice was shaking a little. "But why does it bother you so much?" Max looked at her, sadness in his eyes. "Because I'm afraid I'm not doing enough. She needs a family, Anna. She's lost everything, and I'm afraid I can't be what she deserves." Anna took his hand and squeezed it. "Max, you are not alone in this. We are together now. And Dasha is already part of our family. She loves you, and I love her too. Anna's words moved him. For the first time in a long time, he felt relieved, as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. Thank you, Anna. I didn't know how you would take it, but you were always stronger than I thought. Anna smiled and pressed herself against him. Now we are all together, and I am sure that we will be able to give Dasha everything she needs. The next day, Anna decided to make a surprise for Max. She offered to spend the day with Dasha to show her that she really wanted to be a part of her life. They went to the park together, drew on the asphalt with chalk, and even created a new design for socks. Dasha drew a cat wearing rainbow socks. In the evening, when Max returned home, Anna showed him the sketch. Look, she said. Dasha wants it to be the next hit of the collection. Max laughed, looking at the picture, and then hugged Anna and Dasha. It's perfect. You two are perfect. In that moment, they became a real family, not only in terms of obligations or promises, but also in feelings. And each of them knew that now they were ready for anything. Time passed, and the lives of Max, Anna, and Dasha took on new colors. Their family, though unusual, has become stronger than ever. Max and Anna worked together on new collections, and Dasha helped with her childish but ingenious ideas. Their sock business grew, and each new design told the story of their shared story. But life is never completely smooth. One day, Max received a message from the lawyer of his dead friend. The meeting was urgent, and Max could not ignore it. Serious news greeted him in the lawyer's office. Max, there is one matter that we have not discussed before, began the lawyer. There are relatives of Dasha who want custody of her. Max froze. He did not know what to answer. But I've been taking care of her for 2 years now. Dasha is like my daughter, he said, trying to hide his excitement. I know, Max. The lawyer nodded. But according to the law, they have the right to apply for guardianship. Their lawyer has already prepared a lawsuit. Max left the office with a heavy heart. He knew what he had to tell Anna, but he was afraid of how she would take it. That evening, sitting in their living room, he told her everything. Anna listened in silence, but her face was calm and determined. Max, we won't give up, she said when he finished. Dasha is our family. We will fight for her. The next few weeks became tense. Max and Anna worked with a lawyer, collecting documents, testimony, and photos that showed how they cared for Dasha. It was at this time that they realized how strong their family had become. One day, when Max was working in his office, Dasha came to him with a drawing. Look, she said, showing him a piece of paper. It's you, me and Anna. We are together. Max looked at the picture, and his eyes filled with tears. He hugged the girl. You are our world, Dasha, he whispered. We will do everything to make you happy. Judgment Day has come. The hall was quiet when the lawyer of Dasha's relatives made a speech. They claimed that they had more rights to guardianship because they were her blood relatives. But when it was Max's turn, he spoke from the heart. Dasha lost her parents, but she did not lose her right to a happy life. I'm not a blood relative, but I'm the one who loves her like my own child. Together with Anna, we created a home for her where she can be herself, where her dreams are important. She is our future. Anna added, we don't just take care of Dasha. She became a part of our soul, and we will do everything so that she always knows that she is not alone. The judge was silent for a long time, reviewing the documents and listening to all sides. Eventually he got up. I made a decision. All things considered, I think it would be best for the child to stay with the people who have provided stability, love, and support for her. Custody remains with Max and Anna. There was a sigh of relief in the hall. Max and Anna hugged Dasha, who was holding their hands and smiling happily. Now we really are a family, Anna said, wiping away tears of joy. This moment was the beginning of a new stage for them. Now they knew that together they could overcome any difficulties. A few months passed after the trial, and the lives of Max, Anna, and Dasha became even warmer and more harmonious. Their family grew stronger every day, and Max's sock business flourished, thanks to Anna's creative ideas and Dasha's participation. Their house was filled with laughter, drawings, and warm evenings at the table, but fate prepared another test for them. One evening, when the whole family was sitting in the living room, Dasha unexpectedly approached Anna with a serious expression on her face. Anna, are you my mother? She asked, her eyes wide. Anna froze. She could feel her heart sinking, but quickly calmed herself down. She carefully took Dasha's hands. Dasha, I love you very much. I am not the one who gave birth to you, but I will always be there for you as a mother. Dasha was silent for a few seconds, and then sincerely hugged Anna. Then you are my mother, she said simply. These words moved Anna to tears. She hugged Dasha even tighter, and at that moment, she realized that her place in this world was right here, next to Max and Dasha. The next day, while working on a new collection, Max received an unexpected offer. A large international company wanted to buy his brand of socks. The sum offered was huge, but it meant that Max would have to hand over all management activities and abandon his brainchild. He sat in his office looking at the papers and thinking. Anna entered the room, noticing his thoughtful look. What happened? She asked, sitting down next to him. Max handed her the documents. They want to buy the business, Anna, for crazy money. She read the offer and her eyes widened. This is a huge opportunity, Max. But do you want it? He pondered, circling the sketches on the table. Dasha's children's drawings, Anna's notes. I didn't make this for money, he finally said. This is more than business. This is our story, our common dreams. Anna smiled and squeezed his hand. Then don't sell. Continue. But know that I support you no matter what decision you make. Max sighed in relief. At that moment, he realized that money could never replace the feeling of a real family and what they had created together. The following months were filled with new projects. Max decided to open a line of children's socks, which he called Dashi's Little House. Anna helped him organize a marketing campaign, and Dasha became the face of this line. Her drawings turned into stylish designs that won the hearts of customers. In the evening, when they all sat together on the terrace of their house, watching the sunset, Dasha fell asleep in Anna's arms. Max looked at them and smiled. We've come a long way, he said quietly, and I couldn't have done it without you. Anna hugged him with one arm, pressing Dasha to her. We did it together, Max. Now we are a real family. At that moment, they realized that the greatest success in their lives is not business, not money, but their love and strong family. They watched the sun sink below the horizon, knowing that only the best was yet to come. It's been a year since Max launched the line of children's socks, Dashi's Little House. She became not only a commercial success, but also a symbol of their family. Dasha began to feel more confident. Even at school, she was nicknamed the designer of the future. Anna discovered her talent for creative marketing, and Max realized that his true mission was not only to create socks, but also to share the warmth of their story. One morning, Anna, sitting in the kitchen with a cup of coffee, looked thoughtfully at the calendar. Max, she said as he entered, do you remember that the anniversary of our acquaintance is coming soon? Max smiled as he placed a plate of toast in front of him. How can I forget? We then argued about that last book on sale at the bookstore. Anna laughed. Yes, and then you bought it for me. You always knew how to surprise. So? He asked, sitting down next to her. Do you have anything planned for the day? Anna just smiled mysteriously. On the anniversary, Anna asked Max and Dasha to dress up in something elegant. She prepared a small surprise. They drove to the outskirts of the city to a cozy old estate that seemed like a place from another era. What is it? Max wondered as they got out of the car. The house I found a few months ago, Anna said. I know that you have always loved ancient architecture, and I always thought that you only liked to sleep. But I saw how you come to life when we walk in such places. Max looked around at the grand house with tall windows, stone columns, and a spacious veranda. Anna, he began, but she cut him off. This is our new home, if you will. I bought it for us. Max stood in silence and then hugged her. You have no idea what this means to me. Dasha ran up to them, smiling. Mom, Dad, can I choose a room? Of course, answered Anna, smiling. The next few weeks were filled with pleasant worries. They moved to a new house and began to furnish it together. Max was engaged in the repair of antique furniture. Anna chose the decor, and Dasha filled the walls with her drawings. One evening, when the whole family gathered in the new living room, Anna proposed a toast. For our family, she said. For the fact that we always stay together no matter what. Max raised a glass of wine, and Dasha raised a glass of juice. And for the fact that there are even more happy moments ahead of us, he added. Dasha nodded, looking at them with warmth in her eyes. I'm so glad we have our home, she said. But the best thing we have is us. All three smiled and hugged. In their new home, a new life awaited them, full of dreams, warmth, and love, which they created together. Life in the new house gradually returned to normal. Every corner was filled with warmth and family moments. Anna decorated the living room with Dasha's paintings. Max finally found time to restore the old fireplace, and Dasha arranged her room so that it became a real gallery of her childhood dreams. But it seemed that their happy life began to attract the attention of the past that Max tried so hard to leave behind. One evening, while the family was preparing dinner, there was a knock at the door. Anna went to open it, and behind the door stood a strange man in a strict suit. His face was stern, but his eyes betrayed fatigue. "Are you Anna?" he asked. "Yes, and you?" "My name is Oleg. I used to work with Max," he said, holding an old briefcase in his hands. "I need to talk to him. This is important." Anna called out to Max, and when he saw the visitor, his face tensed. "Oleg, what are you doing here?" asked Max, taking the man aside so that Anna and Dasha would not hear. "We need to talk," Oleg said, taking out documents from his briefcase. "It's about your late friend's business. It turns out that before his death there were outstanding debts, and now the creditors are trying to hold you accountable." Max felt a chill run down his spine. His friend had always been careful with his finances, but something seemed to be missing. "I didn't know anything about that," Max said, trying to keep his cool. "Me too," Oleg answered. "But now it can affect both you and your family." That evening, Max told Anna everything. She listened attentively, and then calmly put her hand on his shoulder. "We'll make it, Max," she said. "We have already passed through difficult times, but it can affect our business," he said. "And I don't want it to affect you or Dasha." Anna resolutely looked into his eyes. "We are family, and we are in this together. You are not alone." The following days were tense. Max and Oleg tried to understand the situation, looking through old documents and trying to find a way out. Meanwhile, Anna decided to work on strengthening their business so that they would have a financial cushion in case of need. One day, when Dasha was drawing in her room, she heard her parents arguing downstairs. She didn't understand all the details, but her childish heart felt anxious. She went downstairs and hugged Max. "Dad, everything will be fine," she said. "We are together. We are a family." These simple words reminded Max and Anna that their strength lies in unity. After several weeks of hard work, Max managed to reach an agreement with the creditors. They wrote off part of the debts. He agreed to pay the rest in installments. It was not easy, but he knew that he could do it thanks to the support of Anna and Dasha. In the evening, when he returned home after the meeting, Anna was waiting for him with a glass of wine. "You did it," she said, hugging him. "We did it," Max replied. "And I'm sure that now everything will be fine." They sat together by the fireplace, and Dasha brought her new drawing. "It's all of us," she said, showing them the picture. It showed the three of them holding hands outside their new home. Max and Anna smiled. They knew that there could be new challenges ahead, but the main thing is that they are together, and this will always be their greatest strength. A year has passed since Max's family coped with all the difficulties. Their life finally became stable and happy. The house they chose turned into a real oasis of warmth and joy. Dasha grew up, turning into a talented and self-confident girl. Anna found harmony in family life and creativity, and Max's business reached a new level, becoming known even outside the country. One day, Max received an invitation to an international exhibition of business ideas, which was to be held in Paris. Organizers chose his brand as an example of creativity, dedication, and success. Max decided to take the whole family with him. When they arrived in Paris, it was like a dream. The ancient architecture, the majestic Eiffel Tower, and the romance of the city captured their hearts. But the most important thing happened on the day of the exhibition. Max gave a speech in which he talked not only about business, but also about his family, about how their love and support became the basis of his success. "This business started as a simple idea," he said from the stage, standing in front of thousands of listeners. "But today, he is something more. This is the symbol of our family. This is a story of love, faith, and overcoming all difficulties. My point is that no business is meaningful without those who make your life real." He looked at Anna and Dasha, who were sitting in the first row. Tears of pride and joy glistened in their eyes. The hall burst into applause. Returning home after the trip, Max received an unexpected letter. It talked about an old manor house in the mountains that once belonged to a friend of his. It turned out that his friend left this estate to Max as an inheritance, but it was forgotten due to debts. Max and his family decided to go there to see what was left. When they arrived, they saw an old but majestic building surrounded by a dense forest. The estate looked like a place from a fairy tale, but it needed restoration. Anna, looking at this house, said, "This is the perfect place for a new beginning. Here we can create something that will last forever." Max agreed. They decided to turn the estate into a place that would combine their dreams: Anna's creativity, Max's business, and Dasha's talent. They started working together, restoring the house and creating a new space for living and inspiration. A year later, the estate became the center of their new project, a creative residence for artists, designers, and entrepreneurs. They organized a grand opening celebration, inviting friends, partners, and everyone who supported them in life. Anna stood on the balcony, looking at the people who were laughing, dancing, and celebrating their success. Dasha ran among the guests, showing her drawings. Max, standing next to him, hugged Anna. "We did it," he said. "We turned our dreams into reality, and they did it together," she answered. At that moment, fireworks lit up the night sky above the manor. Their faces shone in the light of these lights, and in their hearts there was a feeling that only the best was ahead. It wasn't just an ending, it was a new beginning of their story, a story that proved that love and unity can overcome all odds.